Index heavyweights notch up some gains, but mid-caps feel the heat. Auto and utilities are the top gainers, while realty and capital goods are the big drags.
Paytm posts a profit in Q1 on the back of lower direct and indirect costs and a lower ESOP charge. And while some analysts see this as a positive sign, others point to concerns on the revenue front. The stock slips.
A block deal in Lodha developers of nearly 2,000 crore rupees and one in Oberoi Realty of nearly 1,400 crore initiated by an institutional seller drags down both these real estate names.
MCX has been facing order processing and settlement issues over the past few days, and today trading on the commodity exchange started late. The delay spelled advantage NSE as brokers redirected clients.
And even as Donald Trump announces what he believes is a massive trade deal with Japan for the US, Japanese auto stocks like Toyota, Honda and Nissan leap as the 15% tariff gives them a cost edge over American automakers. Good afternoon. You're with us here on Business Lunch. We are coming to you live from the CNBC-TV18 Motilal Oswal studios. I'm Harmas Patakia. With me, as always, is Vamakshi Thoria. Vamakshi, good afternoon. We started off on a bit of a sluggish note, but it seems that we're picking up the pace and we're counting down to some really big earnings towards the close of the session.
Well, absolutely, Harmas. You know, Trump has been signing a lot of trade deals. It has been pushing the Asian markets higher, and we're not exception, but we're hoping for one to come for India soon enough. The market's rejoicing, definitely. The Nifty is up almost 113 points, inching closer to the 25,200 mark. We're just 25 points shy of that. The Sensex too up in trade. The mid-cap end of the market, though, has been flopping between the red and the green. For now, it's trading flat, absolutely flat on the mid-cap index. The advanced decline ratio, that will also come up for you on the screen. That will indicate how, the broader market is actually faring, and in fact we do have the declines outpacing the advances in today's trading session. Now let's take a look at some sectoral indices then. It's Nifty Auto that is leading the gains this time around. Tata Motors, Motherson Sumi has some counters that are flying high in trade today. On the flip side, we do have some realty stocks in focus. The realty index has taken a sharp knock in today's trading session after the blocks announced in Lodha as well as Oberoi Realty. Now on the flip side, lots of earnings reaction, like you were pointing out, Hormaz, continue to dominate the limelight today. Credit Access is up almost 6%. It has surged, it's coming on the back of very strong volumes. IRFC is one other counter that is flying high in trade today.
And that you can see visuals there of the Prime Minister Narendra Modi embarking on his visit to the United Kingdom, where it is slated that the free trade agreement between the two countries is likely to be signed tomorrow. And that is an important development when it comes to the deal between the two countries, even as clarity is still awaited on an impending trade deal with the US. But these are visuals of the Prime Minister departing to the UK for his two-day visit, where he's likely to sign on the FTA between UK and India. Meanwhile, the Indian cabinet has approved a free trade agreement with the UK set for signing on the 24th in London. And as the Prime Minister has just departed for that, Parikshit is joining in with more details as to what is likely to be in store in this deal. Parikshit.
Yes, Prime Minister Modi will be heading to UK to sign that all-important trade deal with Keir Starmer. This deal has been in the works for more than 2 years now, and it was announced by the two prime ministers on the 6th of May. And since then, the legal scrubbing, the working out of legal modalities of the FTA has been on. Around noon tomorrow is when the deal will be signed in London in the presence of the two prime ministers. Piyush Goyal is also accompanying the prime minister for the signing of this trade deal. What we're learning is that this trade deal will give 95% of goods traded between India and UK almost zero duty access. From the UK side, Scotch whisky, automobiles, which were key asks for the UK industry, they will get market access in India at lower duties, and the duties will come down in a graded manner. For automobiles, there will be lower tariffs for high-end electric vehicles, high-end luxury vehicles, and there will be quota systems there. Indian MSMEs will get preferential access to the UK market. From the Indian side, labor-intensive sectors such as automobile parts, pharmaceuticals, gems and jewelry, textiles, footwear, they are likely to get better access to the UK market.
Well, thanks so much for those details, Parikshit. An important development out there, something that the street had been waiting for since the last couple of years, if not months. At least some trade deal in our, in our favor. Well, moving on then, the US President Donald Trump has announced a massive trade deal with Japan that includes a lower 15% tariff that will be levied on US imports from the country, including autos. Take a look at this report.
Donald Trump says he's struck another trade deal.
But I just signed the largest trade deal in history, I think maybe the largest deal in history, with Japan.
The deal sees a 15% tariff on the country's exports to the US, including cars. They had previously faced a 25% levy. In a post on Truth Social, Trump said the deal would also see Japan invest $550 billion in the US. And he said it would secure access to the Japanese market for US products, including rice. One analyst said it was a better outcome than expected for Japan and would allow the country to avoid recession. In Tokyo, Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba welcomed the deal.
25% まで引き上げる。
He said it marked the lowest rate set for countries that have a trade surplus with the US, and added it would not sacrifice Japanese agriculture, even if it did allow more access for US produce. It all marks the biggest agreement yet struck by Washington since the tariff turmoil began. Japan is America's fifth largest trading partner in goods, with two-way trade between the pair worth almost $230 billion last year. The news sent stocks higher in Tokyo on Wednesday, with the Nikkei index up around 3% by lunchtime. Automakers were among the top gainers, with Mazda and Subaru both surging more than 15%. Trump also flagged the possibility of more deals to come.
And we have Europe coming in tomorrow and the next day. We have some other ones coming in.
Trump aides are now scrambling to do more deals before his August 1st deadline for agreements. However, the president has said that many countries will simply get letters telling them what their rate is.
Now, even as the US continues to strike trade deals with other countries, the deadlock over a similar deal with India continues. Now, the farm and dairy sector, which employs over two-thirds of India's labour force, have reportedly been sticking points during these negotiations. And earlier, we did speak to Mukesh Aghi, the president and CEO of the US-India Strategic Partnership Forum, on the US striking deals with Indonesia and Vietnam, but being unable to do so with India. Listen in.
Cabinet of US government had recommended a deal to the president, and president basically came back and said that I want a deal which is similar to Indonesia and Vietnam. When you look at the Indonesian deal and Vietnam deal, they are basically one-sided deal, where in the case of Indonesia, basically zero tariff on US goods coming into Indonesia, full market access to agriculture, dairy, and also Indonesia will buy roughly $15 billion worth of US energy and place order of over 50 777 Boeing planes, and almost 20% tariff on Indonesian exports to the US. So it is not a reciprocal deal. 60% of the population working on the agriculture and producing roughly 16 to 17% of GDP. So they are on subsistence, and you don't want to expose them. On the dairy side, it is important to understand it's a religious issues because the cows are fed meat products in the US, and you can't basically take the same product and feed it to the Indian population. I think the US side understands that. It's just a matter of trying to work the process within the administration. So when you go from 10 to 26%, yes, it's going to be challenging. It's going to hit the profits. It's going to make Indian goods more expensive in the US. But that is not the end of the world. You have to understand that there are certain principles that has to be adhered to, and there's certain protection and red lines which you cannot be crossed.
Well, moving on then, before we look at the stocks that are buzzing around in trade, take a look at Ola Electric. That stock has seen a very sharp surge in the last couple of minutes. The stock is up almost 7% for now. There you go, trading at 43. But, some more stocks that are flying high in trade today. Ria is here to brief us on all of them. Ria?
Well, yes, let's take a look at the stocks that are buzzing in trade today. First up is Credit Access Grameen after its Q1 numbers. Stock up around 6% after the net profit has gone down by around 85% on a year-on-year basis. But the credit cost has also gone down to 9.2% versus just about 9.6% in the last quarter. For Idea Foods, that stock has also tanked about 7% after reporting the Q1 numbers. Revenue has gone down by around 85% on a year-on-year basis. The EBITDA loss and the net loss this time around have come in at rupees 15 crores and about rupees 23.5 crores respectively. But the EBITDA and net losses have narrowed on a sequential basis, but just marginally. Dixon Tech has reported an inline set of numbers. The stock is up around 2.5%. The net profit this time around has come in at about rupees 225 crores versus our estimates of 228 crores, up around 68% on a year-on-year basis. For JSW Infra as well, good set of numbers here. The stock is also up around 2%. The net profit is up around 31% on a year-on-year basis, and the management has said that they're aiming for a 10% volume growth in FY26. Paytm has also reported a very strong set of numbers this time around. The net profit this time around has come in at around 122.5 crores versus a loss of 839 crores in Q1 of last year. EBITDA also at 71.5 crores in this quarter versus an EBITDA loss of 793 crores in Q1 of last year. The last stock that we're keeping an eye out on is Cyient DLM, down about 2% in trade. The revenue and net profit were below the street estimates, while the EBITDA margin was above estimates at around 8.5%.
All right, Ria, plenty of stocks that are buzzing in today's trading session, but take a look at Sky Gold as well. There's a very sharp knock that the stock has taken after the results announcement just a few minutes earlier, and as you can see at the bottom of your screen, there has been a slew of block deals that have taken place in the stock as well. We'll get you more details on those deals in just a bit, but for now, Sky Gold, which had just moved into the green after the earnings announcement, has now slipped 5%. So keep an eye out on all of these names. Take a short break here on Business Lunch, but just before we do that, it's time to recognize the champions. Get ready for an evening that honors India's most promising SMEs, the champions behind our nation's remarkable progress. From groundbreaking innovation to grassroots impact, these businesses have powered growth, inspired change, and redefined ambition. HSBC presents CNBC-TV18 SME Champion Awards Season 2. India's most coveted SME Awards platform is all set to finally announce the winners on the 25th of July, starting 3 p.m.
Welcome back. You're watching Business Lunch on CNBC TV18. Let's put the spotlight on silver then, as this precious metal surges to an all-time record highs on the back of strong fundamentals. My colleague Manisha Gupta joins us with more details on this. Manisha?
Oh, it's a silver lining to silver, really, because we've seen very strong gains come in for this one. Silver actually is outperforming gold when you look at the last 1 month or YTD numbers as well. There you have it on your screens. So in last 1 month, we've seen gold prices gain up by 3%. Silver is up by 9%. In this year now, silver clearly is taken over on gold. With 32% of gold gains, we've seen silver gain up by 36% there. So when you look at the gold prices, we did see an all-time high in this year, in the first quarter itself. And even at this point in time, gold is trading at around 5-week highs into the markets. When you look at the gold prices, we're just about $60 away from that all-time high of around $3,500 an ounce. We seem to have slipped slightly more from those kind of levels. But when it comes to silver, well, we are trading at a 14-year highs in the international markets. And for the Indian markets, it's an all-time high at around 1,16,000 rupees a kg there. Well, a lot of supportive factors onto this one. To begin with, China has been pledging talking about a lot of push when it comes to infrastructure projects coming in from the government itself, whether it is in space of auto or electric equipments. And that's exactly where silver usage will go higher. The global silver industrial demand in 2025 is expected to be at record highs. This would be a fourth straight year of industrial demand hitting record numbers in the global markets there. Also, the global gold and silver ratio trading at around 84 or 87 thereabouts is quite supportive for silver buying further from here in as well. The strong silver fundamentals are in case of supply and demand numbers as well. 2025 is the fifth straight year of deficit in the global markets there. The street is also looking at demand and supply numbers for this year, which are on the positive side. So when you look at the demand, it's expected at 1.20 billion ounces, while supply is at 1.05. And there's no carry forward from last year because this is the fifth straight year of deficit, and that clearly is giving support to silver prices there. Also, when you look at the ranges that the silver has put in, you can see it's on the higher highs. In 2023, $19 to $27 an ounce of a silver range is what we saw. It gained up to 22 to 35 in the previous year. And in this year until now, we've seen a higher range of around 29.5 to 39.5 or thereabouts for this year, with Street anticipating that you could be looking at higher highs going forward. And that's exactly what most of the banks and brokerages seem to be putting out. From JP Morgan to Bank of America to UBS, $39 to $40 an ounce is an expectation of an average silver price for 2025. And that just continues because when you look at the other banks like Citi, Stancy and Saxo Bank, they're also talking about 40. We're not too far away from there, but 40 of an average is what they're talking about. So if we've done 29 and 39 is where we're trading at right now, markets do believe that you could be looking at 42, 45 on the higher side before this year ends.
Well, silver is possibly the new gold. Manisha, thank you for that update. Now, India's largest commodity derivatives platform, MCX, resumed trading at 10:20 this morning after facing a technical disruption which delayed the market opening by over an hour. The exchange normally starts trading at 9 a.m. Now, brokers noted the delay in receiving margin reports from the exchange, with member files seeing a delay over the past week now. Brokers also noted available margins and blocked margins displayed incorrectly, as well as disaster recovery site issued notices in the past 2 days. Now, amidst these issues, the brokers gave options to clients to trade commodity segment on the NSE. In an official statement, the exchange confirmed that it started trading at 10:15 a.m. after a delay caused by technical processes and file sharing.
Well, moving on then, the Ministry of Finance has rejected a key recommendation made by the Ministry of Corporate Affairs to exempt loan waivers granted under the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code from being treated as taxable income under the proposed Income Tax Bill 2025. My colleague Timsi Jaipuria joins us now with all the details. Timsi?
Well, that's right. Parliamentary Select Committee tabled its report on the new proposed income tax bill on 21st of July, and a closer look at the 4,500 plus page report takes us to a key development. That is, the Finance Ministry rejected the proposal suggested by Corporate Affairs Ministry to exempt income tax on loan waiver under IBC. To be precise, and it is documented in the report, that MCA Secretary on 17th of April at a meeting with Select Committee had proposed this suggestion, and Finance Ministry rejected the suggestion, giving a detailed explanation. The rationale given by the Finance Ministry is that, firstly, Section 79 of the IT Act already incentivizes the companies undergoing IBC proceedings by permitting carry forward and set off of accumulated losses, even if there is a change in the shareholding. Secondly, they said that for IBC cases, the accumulated losses would be sufficient to absorb any income arising from loan waivers under Section 28(4) and 41(1) of the Income Tax Act. Thirdly, the accounting standards require loan waiver amount to be routed through profit and loss account, which supports taxability. Next, they said that the government already gives up a large share of dues under IBC's waterfall mechanism. And lastly, that several High Court decisions have held that loan waivers, even if one-time settlement, are taxable. Thus, this suggestion cannot be accepted. Meanwhile, just to remind our viewers that industry has been pitching this demand, they said if this demand is accepted, it will be more lucrative for IBC cases. Let's see what happens now.
Timsi, thank you for that update. Take a short break. More news and updates on the other side. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Now, shifting focus, it is a relief for SpiceJet. The Supreme Court has rejected Kalanithi Maran's backed Kal Airways plea seeking 1,300 crore rupees against the airline. Ashmit is now here with more details. Ashmit, tell us what transpired in this hearing.
Well, this is nearly a 10-year-old promoter dispute between Kalanithi Maran, the former promoters, as well as SpiceJet. Now, as a part of that ongoing dispute, there was a claim made of 1,300 crore rupees by Kal Airways, a company owned by Kalanithi Maran. That company had made claims of 1,300 crore rupees, but that claim was rejected by the arbitral tribunal. It was rejected by the Delhi High Court as well. And then subsequently, this appeal had been moved before the Apex Court, the Supreme Court. Today, this morning, we understand that the Apex Court has rejected this claim once again, has clearly held that these petitions are liable to be dismissed. There is no case made out for grant of any relief or grant of 1,300 crore rupees. And in doing so, upholding the rejection, the earlier rejection of the Delhi High Court of this entire claim of 1,300 crore rupees, the claim that had been made by Kalanithi Maran-owned company Kal Airways. So the long and short is, SpiceJet, that was staring at this large claim of 1,300 crore rupees, that worry is over, that claim is over. The Supreme Court having the final word, saying there's no requirement to consider this demand of 1,300 crore rupees against SpiceJet.
Well, Ashmit, stay on with us. The Supreme Court has agreed to hear plea by Justice Yashwant Verma. Could you tell us more on this front?
Well, Justice Verma has been in the thick of headlines for very many weeks and months now. Importantly, ever since there were disclosures made by the Apex Court itself of cash being discovered, half-burnt cash being discovered at his residence. Now, what we understand is that facing impeachment at the hands of the Parliament, Justice Yashwant Verma, has filed an application before the Supreme Court. It was mentioned today by his lawyers. The Supreme Court has agreed to hear the matter. The CJI is saying, I will not be hearing it. That will not be proper. But the Supreme Court will definitely be hearing this matter, and this will become critical, especially in light of the Parliament contemplating impeachment motion. What Yashwant Verma is essentially saying as a part of his petition is that there has been huge media trial against him, saying that there was breach of confidentiality, information against him was leaked by the Apex Court itself, that this is not tenable, this is a violation of principles of natural justice, going on to say that this report which went against him, the in-house committee panel report that went against him, he said that the CJI had not even given him a hearing at that point, and without giving him a hearing, that report had been forwarded to the Parliament for taking further action. Also going on to say that his reputation has faced irreparable harm. There's been violation of justice, of judicial norms, and that this is something that requires the intervention of the Supreme Court, seeking quashing of that in-house panel report, which led to the impeachment motion finally. So clearly, relief being sought. The Supreme Court for now not saying anything on the matter, but that it will be hearing Justice Verma's concerns going forward. Back to you.
Ashmit, thanks a lot for that update. And in some tragic news now from the world of music, a rock legend, Ozzy Osbourne, the Black Sabbath frontman turned popular reality TV star, has died at the age of 76. Osbourne kicked off his career in the early 1970s as Black Sabbath's lead singer. Now that, along with several solo releases, have sold over 100 million records worldwide. Osbourne held his final concert on the 5th of July in Birmingham, where he thanked visibly emotional fans for one last time.
Well, that's all we have on this edition of Business Lunch. Don't go anywhere. We're leaving you with the Nifty trading with a gain of 100 points. The mid-cap index visibly in the red. Don't go anywhere. Mid-cap radar comes up next.